What are we doing, guys? What's happening? What, and you know, I don't want to be accused of anything. All right? It's just no one wants this. No one wants this. I don't know anybody out there who is like, you know what I really want next from God of War? A Faye game. Who who talk about, right, completely like fooling, right, your fans, right? Because everybody out there was pretty much expecting, I was expecting, that the next God of War installment was going to be us playing Atreus, right? And if it's like, okay, if I have to play Atreus, man, it better be better than, the gameplay that I had with him in Ragnarok. Like, we need to step it up. Like, I don't know if he's going to be older. It just needs to be completely different. He's quite annoying. I found him more annoying in Ragnarok than I did as a kid in God of War. He was just way more annoying. At least that's just my opinion. He was just more annoying. But if you would have told me, oh yeah, they're making a Faye game. What? What? And here's the thing, okay? Here's why I'm against this. I'm not going to speak for everybody, right? Here's why I'm against it, right? Has nothing to do with that she's a woman, right? Just make that clear. Has nothing to do because she's a woman or anything like that. What it has to do with is that when you're talking about fantasy stories like God of War, Harry Potter, right? Game of Thrones, there's always an intriguing, mysterious backstory, right? That that when we get into the story, right? We are aware that something happened before. And usually what happened before is always talked about throughout the story. There may be like a glimpse here or there of a flashback, right? But nothing is ever flushed out, right? So Harry Potter, we know there was a wizarding war. By book one, right? We are aware within the first couple of chapters that there was a big event that took place and that Harry's parents were a part of it. And it's what ultimately led to them dying, right? We're aware that there was a war that took place. We're aware of these things. And throughout the books, you get different hints, different glimpses of stuff that happened during that time. But to my knowledge, there are no plans of actually writing a book that consists of that time period. There are no plans of a show or a movie talking about that time period. Same thing with Game of Thrones. We get there and we're aware of certain things when Game of Thrones opens. We are aware that there was a rebellion, Robert's rebellion. We get little stories here and there of what took place, right? We know and learn about Aegon's conquest, how the Targaryens even got there to begin with, right? And how Aegon took over the whole place, right? We hear this in little bits and pieces, and we're able to formulate and create the backstory, the lore based on those little things. The reason why I'm so against this, right? Having Faye be a character is because in every fantasy story, you need those things to be present. You need there to be this backstory, this history, in order for you to understand the main story that you're engaging with, right? And the reason why those things are so crucial is the fact, those backstories things, right? Those other stories. The reason why those things are so crucial is because it allows your imagination to kind of fill in the gaps, and it leaves a sense of wondering, which is so important in storytelling, right? Whether it's books, movies, TV shows. In storytelling, what makes a great story is that you don't get all the answers. You don't get all the answers. You don't get the answer to every question that you have. And that is my main problem with creating a game around Faye, is that it takes her character, which is fleshed out throughout 2 games, and there's lore that is created about her, her backstory, even things that Kratos didn't even know, right? We become aware of these things. It deepens the richness of her story. And that's now going to be taken away because they're going to make a game about it. And so now we're going to start getting these answers to questions that really should have just, it should just stay as questions. It should just stay as much a mystery as what did Aegon's conquest look like. It should stay as just a mystery as what was the first Wizarding War, right? What happened there? What were the stories that took place, right? We know, that Harry's parents die, right? Other people's parents die, but like, what were the other adventures, the other things that happened? Those are things that are meant to exist to sit with the audience, for you to ponder. It's what makes it great, because there's always something that you're always thinking about of like, man, like this relates to this and relates to this. And this always relates back to this one area of time in which I'm only getting so much information. And so I have to basically imagine and think about what happened during that time. That's the beauty of lore building. That's the beauty of creating a backdrop, right, to the story that's being told. And then the other thing about this, the last God of War game came out, other than, Sons of Sparta, right? But 2022. That's 4 years ago. And we're already in March of 2026. Games hype up months and months in advance before their releases. So chances are, very strong chance, we're about to go 5 years without there being a major God of War game within the franchise. So people are hungry for Kratos. They're not hungry for Faye, right? And as more time goes on, that's going to be even more of a problem, where it's just like, where's Kratos? We want Kratos. Where's the next Pantheon? Where are we going? What's the continuation of this story? Right? It would have been smart had they had done what Insomniac did with Spider-Man, which is the Miles Morales game, right? Came out like not that far after the first Sony game, after the first Spider-Man game. Didn't come out. Like, that was a good, like, in between Spider-Man 1 and Spider-Man 2 of Insomniac, right? You got Miles Morales. And you can say what you want about that game. I know some people enjoyed it, some people didn't. I personally thought it was a good game. Like, I enjoyed it, right? But different character, right? Very same ability, but a different character. It's not Peter Parker. And don't get me started. There are people out there, trust me, I know. There are people who are, I'm just all Peter Parker, Spider-Man. No one else is Spider-Man. And then there are the Miles Morales fans of like, no, he's got just as much credit. People like him just as much as they like Peter Parker, right? And so it was a good medium. It was a good play on Insomniac and Sony's part of, hey, in between these two installments, let's give you this, right? But instead, right, we're having what I think is going to be 5 years that go by, and we don't get a story, or the story that we're going to get isn't an Atreus story, right? It's a Faye story. Like, this is what you're giving us as a in-between until the next major installment starring Kratos, right? Because there's no way they're going away from Kratos. They're not that dumb. I know there are people out there who are like, oh my lord, they're switching the game. Like, Faye's dead, guys. Like, she's dead. They're not about to switch her and make her the main character of God of War. Stop it. That's nonsense. Right? That's just stupid. That's stupid thinking. She's dead. But again, so much time has passed. I'm not hungry for a Faye story. I'm not hungry for an Atreus story, right? Like, or like a Freya, right? That would have been a good game to put in a couple of years ago as far as like an in-between, right? Not hungry for that. I want to know what's happening with Kratos. That's where I'm at. I think that's where most people are at. I don't think this game is going to sell well. And I do think, yes, there is a part of people who, love video games who don't want to watch or play a girl. And you can have your arguments with that, what you will. But we're talking about strictly from a business point of view, right? If your job is to make games and you want to make your life about whatever industry you're in, right? The first thing you should probably figure out is, well, who am I talking to? Who are the people who I'm trying to play my game, watch my movie, read my book, right? It's what I do like with this, right? Like, I like playing video games. I know there are people out there who are interested in this topic, and I'm interested in it. So yes, I'm going to make a video about it. I may not make a video about every video game, but I like this one, so I'm going to make a video and talk about it. And I know my target audience of who I'm trying to reach are people who are interested in this, in video games. That's just common sense. No one wants this. So just from a pure, right, business point of view, this is a dumb business decision. It's a dumb business decision. No one wants this. Will there be people who play it? Sure. If it comes out, maybe I'll even play it, right? But I'm probably going to more than likely wait for reviews to come out and play it. But the risk of tarnishing the legacy that's already been established with this character is very high now that the focus is going to solely be on her. And it bothers me. It bothers me. But hey, let me know what you guys think, right? Put it down in the comments. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Give a like if you haven't liked. Follow. But I don't know, guys. I'm worried. The news that's been coming out about God of War, between the show, this now, it's just not looking good.